So much, LaShatá, for joining me today.
Yeah.
Lativa introduced us 2 months ago, something like that.
Shout out to CCC.
Create
Connected. Collab.
Collab. Check. Shout out to Starla and Lativa, bringing women together in beautiful ways. I'm so pumped. We had a quick connect. I got to learn more about you, your background, all that you're doing. We asked how we can support each other. And now we're about to jump into this founder to founder, sharing your story, your voice, all the amazing things that you are doing, and talking about Girls Who Lift and the way women lift each other up.
Yeah.
Which I'm just obsessed with the mission, and I got chills. I got them again thinking about the video you just showed me, because I also love videos where they show quick snapshots of perspectives and the ways that we are all trying to better ourselves in these different ways, and just the community that comes from doing that together in spaces, and you're cultivating it. So please introduce yourself. Maybe a teaser of the brand we are about to get into.
Yeah.
But yeah, take it away.
Okay. First and foremost, thank you, Lativa. This was the connection of that. But curator of Black Girls Who Live. My name is LaShatá Grayson. And it's simple. We are a community-based organization that help women lift as they climb. That could be spiritually, mentally, but most importantly, we focus on the physical aspect. I have been certified in CrossFit Level 1 for years. I still do. Heavy lifting is really where I developed this notion where I could be strong. I don't have to be small to be in shape. I can have different elements of it. And so really started Black Girls Who Lift about 3-4 years ago with the community of girls. We just wanted to work out together. And the reality is a lot of women don't want to work out alone. They don't want to go to the gym by themselves. So having those group classes have been really helpful, and also exposing marginalized identities to the form of weightlifting, to the form of CrossFit in a unique way. It kind of curated. It's just been taking off. Every year it gets bigger. Every year we're focusing on some things as it relates to just being whole and being well. I went through a lot of things where I was in middle school growing up. I didn't like myself. I didn't know how to take care of myself. I always felt like I always had to have it together and be strong. And so really teaching women you can be strong in a different aspect, strong with asking for help, strong with getting your body together, strong with getting your mind together, taking a second to pause, really curating that space, and you don't have to do this work alone.
So many things. I feel like you were talking and I was like, I want to touch on this, I want to touch on that, girl. And then you just kept going and I'm just sitting here thinking, oh my gosh. First of all, I said this on our call. I love the way you say we lift as we climb, because the more we grow together when we bring people with us, especially bringing people to spaces they might not be in yet, bringing people knowledge they might not have about what you're capable of and what you can do. I love that. And I also love that you said all the different ways we can be strong.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a love-hate relationship sometimes with the word strong, because I get so tired of being strong sometimes. But I love that you said you can ask for help and still be strong.
That's strong. That's a vulnerability space, right? To program, I said this at a session I delivered, learning to unlearn some things. If you've never learned that you can be vulnerable and say I cannot do this, or it's okay that I don't know the answer to this question, that's a skill set of being strong. And so I like to affirm women with that, instead of this notion of I have to have it all together. We're kind of redefining what strong looks like.
I love that. That is so powerful in itself, because I think especially as women, this is a whole another soapbox, saying that man is head of the household, man supports, but the way that women provide so much emotionally and mentally. The mental burden of a household, the way that
carry the baby.
It's wild to think about all the ways women provide, and it's just expected. And the way that you're creating a space where you can lean.
Yeah, I expect this to be challenging. I expect you to lean on someone. At the event, I open up with telling them to go talk to someone they don't know, because let's build a connection. of course you came with your friend. Let's get you out your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because you never know, the person next to you might be able to lift you up as they're climbing to the top, maybe in a corporate job, or even lift you up as they're like, hey, you might think their body is banging, but it's so many things they experienced and went through that they can put you on to and say like, hey, let me help you out and not make the same mistakes I did. It might be someone that's a mom that literally needs the support that you can provide. So like, really getting in this atmosphere in place of like community and doing things together. I'm really a girl's girl, and I'm for the girls. I'm for whoever is trying to help people get better. That is what I am about. Whether how you identify as a woman, it is still an issue when you are a woman, but it's most importantly an issue when you're a minority woman. And so how do we come together? Whether you are a minority woman, whether you're white, however you choose to identify, this is a space for you. As long as you're willing to support that said mission.
Yeah, that's so well said. And I also think I would love to hear more too about the holistic viewpoint of it, because you say, and I love this, you say that you're a curator of this space because you were bringing people together, you were bringing energies, and you were bringing tools and resources intentionally to a space. How did it get started? Because it's such a holistic view. It's not just we're going to work out together, but you're acknowledging like the mental barriers and the emotional weight that people are bringing into the gym. Maybe they used to really struggle working out. Maybe their body's been through a lot, and so they're nervous about testing the waters with it again. What was the beginning like?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I always say curator. I try not to say owner, founder, whatever the case may be, because I just feel like my assignment in life is to help people unpack the things they are carrying and curate that space. And so I don't have to be at the forefront of the space for the space to take place, right? It may start with me, but I know with my assignment, it's not going to end with me. It'll be other people helping me as I want to create this space. But it really started, like I said, I like to work out with people. And I started to text some of my workout friends, and I don't like to work out by myself. And so it started to come from that. It was during COVID. We were like, hey, let's just work out. Then it was like, hey, let other people see us working out. And sometimes it can be intimidating when you're seen as like a trainer, when you're seen as like this physical person that seems strong or have a best physique or whatever the case may be. People don't think that they can work out with you. And so that was a barrier I already was breaking to say like, hey, they could be trainers, we could be these people, but we all like to work out. And so bringing people together was the first aspect of it. And then the cause. Like if we're going to work out, let's work out for a cause. Each year is like, whether it's raising money for entrepreneurship for women, whether it's raising money for a scholarship, like it is always some type of cause, because we're lifting, but we're climbing too. So we got to bring someone else up that might not be in the space that could use this help. And so that was the element, like I said, of it. 1 year was guys that were coming, because they wanted to support the mission, but I'm really being into energy and just alignment. And I felt like the space will be different when it's just women. And so this year I was like, I love the guys. They can support Black women that lift, but like it's a different synergy that happens when it is just women. It's a different vulnerability that happens when, you feel like your boob might pop out, or like your clothes may be too tight or whatever, because you're not uncomfortable because I look like you. We have the same parts. And so it is a different level of just freeness that you have when it's just us in the space.
Right. You're more focused on bracing your core, not like sucking it in.
Yes. And I think that was a thing. This year we added the mindful moment piece, because just researching and seeing, we don't take moments to pause. And so I wanted us to start off with pausing. Over the years, we'll crank it up. We'll be so hyped. But I'm like, I think in the world that we're living in now as women, we need to just stop. And think, because for me, I know I suffer with being in my thoughts. And so I was like, how about we curate this year to be like a moment of silence, to breathe, to really take that minute to hug your inner child, your inner self, and to love on yourself, and to really just, you only responsible for you in this moment. And so it was a great way to kind of start us off, because then after you realize, okay, I'm in a good space with myself, I have someone to connect with to help me through this workout. So this year we added the partner workout. It has always been like circus style group, but I'm switching it to the style of the partner workout, because I just don't feel like you can do this by yourself. And sometimes you need someone, whether it's entrepreneurship pushing you on, whether it's in your job. Like we all have a friend or someone that's just like, this is my go-to for this. So you got your go-to for the gym.
Yeah, I love that. And it builds that sense of accountability, and it also builds, that built-in sense of support, because it's like someone is physically doing it with you. And I think, I know for me, like I have a lot of friends who live in different places, and so sometimes it's hard to feel like you're still together when you're so far. And so to have someone
Yes.
physically there with you and having that connectedness and going through that journey together, going through that workout together, that circuit.
And it's hard.
I watched that video. She said it was hard. And I was like,
Yeah.
girl, I bet. But the way she was still smiling at the end of it.
Yeah, it's hard enough to be like, but I did it.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't do it by myself. You know, it's different when you're struggling by yourself or when you also another element of it, the body diversity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was multiple women with all shapes and sizes. I like to curate events where it's not just a type that I'm promoting. I'm really big into that. And so you're seeing different people. I used to be going into different spaces and I didn't see people that look like me. I didn't see people that had similar sizes to me. So I just felt automatically discouraged. And so curating that space, we were really particular on like, who did we invite? Also like the messaging, who, you know, from even the trainers that we have all different shapes and sizes. And so really being intentional, like I said, each year I'm like, we can always get better. We can always add more people. We can always target or look at different images with body diversity, but it's really big and really different when you start to see a lot of different women that are moving and shaking just like you in different different sizes. So that was the one thing that was really important to me.
That's incredible. And I think you're talking a little bit about like how you're growing and like where you're going. And so I know right now it was it one event a year and now it's looking like it's going to be growing more? Like tell me about that. That's exciting.
Yeah. So right now I'm really trying to curate the events once a month and build some type of community, right? Long term, it'll turn into events once a month, and then we'll build out what it looks like to actually have a community of like, you contact Black Girls Who Lift if you're looking for a trainer. You contact Black Girls Who Lift if like you need help with nutrition, and we're kind of like the connectors. Not necessarily I'm doing the work. I am connecting you to people because let's be honest, there are some people, and it's nothing against people that train, that have not gave women the best advice about their bodies. Like there are some people with nutrition. It's a lot when we have marginalized women asking about nutrition help and understanding the body type, shapes, and sizes of that demographic. And so making sure with Black Girls Who Live, we are vetting people to say like, we're not just giving you referrals to say like, oh yeah, try this person. No, we know this person is what you need based off of the form that you filled out and kind of create a pipeline. You know, if you need a workout partner, okay, let's get you one.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's what we're missing. A lot of times it's like, okay, go to a trainer, go X, Y, and Z. It's just really a pipeline to get you resources that you need to lift you up as you climb.
Yeah, I think that's amazing because I think you can go to Yelp, you can ask friends, but everyone has different experiences. And so I love the way that you're, really curating this resource hub. It sounds like almost soon to be directory where you can look at like different experiences, different like reviews, or like submit like what you're looking for. So then you can be best matched. Because it's like therapy. Like you don't want to keep dating therapists, trying to find the right one, because it's like being vulnerable every time. I don't want to show up in the gym like ready to like lay my emotional vulnerability out on the line and then not work out after 2 workouts. Like I want to
be able to
a
build
backup.
something. Yeah. And I think it's also this notion like we ask you things like, now I'm coming up with something like, what do you like? You don't know if you like group classes. You don't know if you like one-on-one. Are you a morning workout girl if you're evening? Well, it's no need for you to go through all these type of trainers, because I can tell you now, this 5 is not doing morning or this 5 is not doing evening. Like let us help you add that extra layer off. Like I said, I'm at a space where I do so much with speaking on the side for a lot of organizations. I'm still doing that. I still work full time. And so I don't really think my assignment is to fully train people, even though, like I said, I went and got certified and I was doing all that. It wasn't until I did Black Girls Who Live this time, I was like, this is what I like to do. I like to bring people together. I like to connect other women to women. And also I like to sit there if they're having an issue with their health. Okay, well, I know this person, or actually let's take a step back because I have that knowledge, but also to be able to connect you with people who are doing this in a major way. And also just the pipeline of Black women in the city of Indianapolis. There are a lot of Black women trainers that are killing it. And I think that they could benefit from the platform itself. And that's what I want to do. Give it to the women that are doing this full time, that are like rooted in this work. Yeah. Because I don't like to half-ass women. I don't want to say like, oh, well, I got time for you today, and I don't. You know, so I really feel like a woman's just physical and mental mind space is gentle. Yeah. And so I want to protect that.
Mhm.
And so that's why I'm like, this platform that I am discovering and I'm on a journey with is unique, but it's special to me.
Yeah.
And it's a curation because it won't just be me.
Mhm. That's beautiful. I would love to hear a little bit more about what that experience was like, going through the training and thinking about what your role is, because I think often, and I mean, we can say pivot, we can say whatever the
Right.
word is, but I think especially as entrepreneurs, we have to be so nimble. And you also need to find out like what fills your cup, because that's going to sustain you and your business in that way. And so what was that like for you, going through the training, maybe starting a little bit of training and then realizing that that wasn't it, that wasn't the thing that like
That's
you
a good
are
question.
enjoy?
Yeah, that is a really good question. I don't think someone asked me that. So this was recently, I was doing training early in the morning. I was working and I was not being fulfilled. I love to do it and I love to work women out, but I was just getting too tired. And I was just like, this is really not getting me like going. And also, like I said, I had a few clientele and it wasn't trickling in how I like, but also it wasn't giving me the impact that I wanted to make. Versus when I was planning Black Girls Who Lifted was stressful. But that day when it happened and just to see the women and just to get them connected and having them college, I'm like, yeah, this is my jam. But I should have knew that from the beginning because I like group classes. So, but it was still a challenge, letting people go and some clients in, relationships with me. I mean, we're still friends, but like ended the training with me. Some clients, I had to tell like I'm not able to do it in this capacity. So at first I went through the stages of feeling like a failure. People don't talk about that where it's like, I felt like, well, am I just giving up too soon? Maybe I could stick it out. And then I was just like, I can do what I want to do. I can try it again. I can try it again. If I want to come back to it, I will. But what capacity do you have? What fills your cup? And what is more in alignment with the mission that you want to do? You want people to feel good. You want to connect people. Black Girls Who Lift is the thing. But I think honestly, and this is really the first time I'm saying, I was scared of what the potential of it could be. And sometimes I still am because it's like, it's me with this one mission to make people feel seen and heard and to make people feel strong. And that's a big mission to carry by yourself. So I went through that stage of like, okay, well, can this be something? And so last week I went to church and it talked about boldness. And it's like, you got to do stuff bold, So I'm boldly just pouring into myself. I'm boldly failing. And I'm boldly like, I am the queen of trying it again and again and again. And so I have great friends who told me, my friend Aisha, who came to the event, she said, it's okay if we don't want to do something no more. Yeah. It's okay to change your mind. I think a lot of times, and I hear a lot of podcasts, a lot of therapists say this, you're allowed to change your mind. And I think that's what clicked to me. It's like, I'm allowed to change my mind. I'm allowed to be like, I don't want to do this anymore. Right. But it was just so much the pressure to be perfect, the pressure to be like, I failed and I'm a high achiever. So of course you got to make this work and suffer in silence. So I just didn't want to do it anymore.
I think it's so tough because I don't know, and I don't know if you felt this like as a woman of color entrepreneur. I feel like people always pay attention to stories where like you struggle.
Oh yes.
And they're like, well, what is your struggle? Like, why do you deserve this success? And I feel like taking that weight off and being like, okay, I tried this and it didn't work, but I'm not going to dwell on it because there's so much more to come and there's so much I'm still going to do. I love just shedding that weight.
Yes.
And not letting it be your one story
and
that
I felt
like
better.
Trails. Yeah.
But it's hard because I think being, just being a woman of color, that is the expectation that we are supposed to fail, that it is supposed to be so hard, and that you have to prove that you deserve everything that you get. And so I think I'm in a space where like, I'm tired of proving it. Like I went through that space of like, even I'll be honest, I got certified. I went through CrossFit certification because it's not a lot of Black people that are in CrossFit. It's not a lot of Black people that are getting certifications to do that type of style of training. And so I did it to prove that I could do it. Like every time it's like, I got to prove this. And I'm just at a space where like, when you are moving in your purpose and when you are moving in alignment, God is the person that will tell you where you need to go. And you don't have to prove anything to anyone. Like I said, he's going to just order my steps and all the things. And so I'm really just moving in that type of alignment. And it's a battle. because it's like, yes, I'm spiritually trying to get in the right space, but also mentally trying to do some things, missteps and some mistakes. But I'm just now on this journey where I'm proving it to anyone but myself.
Right.
And it looks a little different.
I mean, it's gonna look different to everyone. I think I love the dialogue online that success is not linear and it has all these different paths.
And it can be so subjective.
It can be. It can be so subjective. You can only be seeing like a short timeline of somebody's like wibble wobble.
And based off
like,
of Instagram,
graph.
you know, I tell people all the time, you get 15 seconds, you get a minute at most of my life. You're not seeing all the things that went up to it. Even with Black Girls Who Lift, like, you'll see the beauty of it and like all these women coming together, but like there are still struggles to get women together. There are still barriers that we face to come together, but it's work. But I think anything is work and you choose your heart.
Yes, 100%. I appreciate that you mentioned too that you can change your mind. And I think that is the biggest part of evolving into like your best self. Because if you were to live your life learning all these different things about you, about your surroundings, and then never change, that just sounds ignorant. Like you're ignoring like these signs, you're ignoring all the things that you could be pouring into yourself and then growing from. And I feel like when you get more knowledge, when you gain experiences, you might want to shift. You might want to change what you're doing because you know you can do something better. Exactly.
You're totally different from your child you to your, middle school you to your adult you. You're different from your 20s and your 30s. I don't even think the same. So you're allowed to change your mind, but I don't think that's something we talk about as entrepreneurs. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to try again. You're allowed to fail. Sometimes a mentor told me this, at least you failed early. At least you figured it out early instead of years from now, what the case may be. But I like the challenge to say, okay, you failed late.
Yeah.
It is some people that I've seen people in their 40s, becoming these millionaires and living out their true purpose in life. And it's like, because life is not about a time clock. It's not when I get to 50. And I think I just realized that now being in my 30s of like, I don't have to have it all together. Because even if I do have it all together, the map is going to be different than what I even thought. So, yeah.
No, I love that. And fail whenever it works, because I think that you can fail as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a human in life, and that doesn't have to write you off for the rest of that journey.
If it's no failure, that's what makes us human. Because we're not perfect.
Right.
And I tell people a lot of times I am just on assignment in life to be better, to do better as a human being.
Yeah.
And because I am human, I will mess up. Because I'm human, I am not perfect. Because I am human, I have pain and I feel different things. And so I have to just be gentle with myself as much as I'm gentle with other people. Because we give so much, I think, space for other people to mess up, or so much cheering on to be like, I got you. And I don't think a lot of times we say that to ourselves. I got you.
Not enough. Not enough. Okay, so how can people keep up with Black Girls Who Lift? How can we support you? And yeah, how can we follow?
Yes, well, Black Girls Who Lift, we have a social media and we have a website, Black Girls BLK Who Lift on Instagram, and then blackgirlswholift.com on the internet. And we have a forum where you can fill out to stay in contact with us, get in our directory, because we send out text messages for the next event. And so, yeah, those are two things. Me, you can follow me, LaShatá.Marie, if you want to keep up with all the things that I am doing on social media. But yeah, I think how can people help keep spreading the word? If I need to be connected to someone, I'm looking into yoga instructors. I'm just looking into different forms of lifting. I think we think of physical weight. It's not physical weight. It's so many different elements of fitness. And so if it's someone that I have not collaborated with, or someone you might see a connection, let me know. I think that can be a great way to connect, because not only do I want to expose my brand, I want to get more women's brands exposed as well. That's the whole just motto of Lifting as We Climb.
I love it. Thank you so much for joining me. Yes. I have had the best time as usual talking with you. Yes. Cannot wait to continue chatting with you, knowing you, supporting you, and seeing all that you do.
Thank you.